welcome. My name is Penny Rosema. You are listening to Cookware Manufacturers Association podcast. One of CMA's goals is to keep our members informed. And in this podcast, we're talking with Brent Weil. Brent is from the Manufacturing Institute. He's the VP of Education and Workforce at the Manufacturing Institute. And if you're not familiar with the Institute, they are an affiliate of the National Manufacturers Association. Now, one of the challenges that we face in our industry is hiring and maintaining a skilled workforce. And this isn't a unique challenge to our industry, the cookware and bakeware industry. So in this podcast, we're going to share resources you as members might not be aware of. And you can find more information. We'll post this on our website. When you listen to this podcast, it'll be right underneath the recording. A link to the manufacturinginstitute.org. So that's their website. You can find out more about the things we're talking about today by clicking on that. But let's welcome Brent. Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you. It's wonderful to speak with you and to members that are in the cookware industry.
Well, thank you so much for taking time. And where do we begin? So hiring and maintaining a skilled workforce is a universal challenge for manufacturers right now. Would you like to just comment a little bit about that and what your institute has found in their research and give us some idea what's going on?
Absolutely. As I'm sure your members have seen, there is indeed a challenge in finding the workforce that we need to do the jobs that we need all across the board. The Manufacturing Institute has long history of research, including we're very well known for what's known as our Skills Gap Report that we issue with Deloitte, and the last of those indicated that over a 10-year period ending in 2025, we need to fill 3.5 million jobs across the United States. A lot of those are coming from where we have baby boomer retirements, and so that aging workforce that we're facing is really something that we're going to need to be facing. And now the really challenging part is that we only really know how we're going to be able to fill 1.4 million of those. So we're projecting that we're probably going to be 2 million jobs short if we don't change what we're doing right now to make sure that we're getting the workforce that we need. So what does that workforce mean? Well, the kinds of positions that we find that manufacturers really need across the board, everything from entry-level positions into skilled positions into management, sales, office jobs, those are all things that we do see that there is a need. But what we have found manufacturers say is really the most critical shortage that they're facing in ways that are really impacting our bottom line is really those technical positions that often require some post-secondary education, some work in, for example, a community college, maybe not even requiring an associate's degree. Those kinds of positions that you really make a difference in how we produce and how we operate and making sure that we're competitive. The kinds of jobs that we've seen, jobs like machinists and CNC, maintenance workers, logistics and supply chain personnel, quality technicians are all jobs that we see where there's a critical need that's there. Now, that need is there. On the other one, some of the things that have factored into it, well, a big one is the perception of manufacturing careers. And so we have seen that even though Americans overwhelmingly support manufacturing, it's something that they want in their communities, only about 1/3 of parents right now would recommend manufacturing for their child. So these are some things that we have to turn around if we're going to be able to meet the needs we have today and into the future. And absolutely that applies to cookware and bakeware just as the whole rest of the manufacturing industry.
What a great recap. Brent, one of the key things I heard about your introduction there is that we expect to be 2 million short of filling jobs that are going to be out there. And if we're not actively engaged, we're not going to be prepared for that.
Very true.
And included in that is a number of manufacturing jobs and that manufacturing career, the image of having a manufacturing career, which is a great lead into the topic of Manufacturing Day. I understand this year it's going to be October 6th, and that probably is a good place to kind of dive deeper into this conversation. who started Manufacturing Day? Do you know how that evolved?
Manufacturing Day started as a partnership with the Manufacturing Institute and the National Association of Manufacturers, also the Manufacturing Extension Partnership Program, and the Fabrication Association FMA, all started Manufacturing Day as co-producers. Right now, it's produced by the National Association of Manufacturers and the Manufacturing Institute directly, and the idea behind it is actually pretty simple, but it's something that people forget. We're in manufacturing every day. We know what happens in a plant. We know what happens when we're producing cookware and bakeware. But the people in our communities, young people especially, may have absolutely no idea, or any idea they have is completely misguided idea about just what manufacturing is. Most people have never stepped foot in a manufacturing facility. They don't know what a plant looks like. And so they're left either with complete misimpression or no impression about manufacturing. And so that means that when it comes time for people to consider career options, when it comes time for them to decide, well, what kinds of classes should I be taking while I'm in, say, high school, then without that knowledge about manufacturing, they completely won't even consider that. So Manufacturing Day is a great way to really help start to turn that around. It is listed as the first Friday in October, which this year is October 6th, but we would encourage people to consider Manufacturing Week, Manufacturing Month. It's really effective if it's in that month, but really any day of the year when manufacturers are opening up for plant tours and visiting schools and being in the community, that can be a great way to be involved in Manufacturing Day. The most effective things about Manufacturing Day are really about opening up for plant tours so that people, young people, their parents, teachers, can actually see manufacturing in action. Showcase what you do. Talk about the kinds of things that you produce. It's great in cookware and bakeware because these are things that people actually see, touch, use in their lives, and that makes a real impression on people. And we would encourage that you work with local schools to arrange that, either to come into the facilities where it's the best, to have them talk and meet your employees, or go visit schools and really make that case that can happen.
It was something that you touched on there, Brett, really hit home for me, because what you talked about was what many of us, because we're in manufacturing, we know what happens. And one of the great things about my job is I visit with our member manufacturers, and yes, there's some amazing and really fun manufacturing processes that are going on out there, but that there is a misguided idea of what manufacturing is. And a personal example I have is I went to a graduation open house this summer, and great kid. Asked him, so what are you doing? And he said, well, I'm just going to the local community college, and he was in a direction of the manufacturing sector. And I said, hold on a second. Don't you ever use that word just again describing it. You are a very smart cookie. That's a wonderful plan, and lots of opportunities for you out there. So drop that word just, because that's a very inappropriate description of what your choices are. So I know what you mean about having a kind of a misguided idea.
Absolutely.
For our members, you have been doing this. I'm sorry, I didn't write down the date of when you started the Manufacturing Day.
This is the 5th year now.
So others have been using it. Could you help our members understand how other organizations are leveraging that day? You talked about not making it just a day, making it a week or a month, reaching out to the schools. But are there resources, say, through the Manufacturing Institute, that they might consider taking a look at on your website, or reaching out to you?
There's a whole host of resources available on the Manufacturing Day website at mfgday.com. And there you'll find everything from information about the day, but even more resources for holding a great plant tour, resources for going and visiting schools, being able to invite congressional personnel, for example, invite your congressman or woman, or other ways to be able to take advantage of it, media invitations. So all kinds of resources available, and we'd really encourage your members to be able to do that. Organizations have really been able to latch onto this as everything that we can do across all the different sectors of manufacturing to show how diverse it is, to show how exciting those options are, to really dispel some of those misperceptions. And the more different kinds of manufacturers are out there in the month of October really promoting this, the more message that gets across in the media, the more we're able to really help change hearts and minds of young people, parents, teachers, others that are really involved in those decisions, so that more people are really going to be available and help close that gap that we're seeing over that 10-year period that we started with.
So I would like to repeat that. It's mfgday.com. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes,
And
it
there's
is.
resources available there. Is there a fee for that, or are those free resources?
Those are free resources.
Okay, and you don't have to already be a member of the National Association of Manufacturers or pay
That's
any other
right.
fees. They're just there just take a look at them.
Absolutely encourage everybody to be able to do that.
That's wonderful. Now, the next question that I have is, uh, those are resources that are free. Are there other available resources that they might tap into for a fee? Anything else that they should be aware of, or where to get more information beyond this website? Are we missing anything else that you'd like to talk about?
Well, there are several things that we've been able to do to really help represent the industry and help drive things forward and provide manufacturing-led solutions to those issues. In the area of youth, that includes really the value of what we call manufacturing ambassadors. So it's one thing for, say, plant manager or ops leader to say work, talk to kids that come in on manufacturing day. It's quite another if they're hearing from somebody who might be 25 and is on a leadership track in the company and excited to be there and to be able to share what that means. We call those people manufacturing ambassadors, and that can be an outstanding way for companies to really identify people in their organization to be able to do that, and that's on manufacturing day, and then maybe leading beyond to be involved in different parts in the community. Also in youth, we have a program that's nationwide. It's called Dream It, Do It, and there's information on our website to be able to connect to a Dream It, Do It locations in your area about things that are going on and being able to connect that way.
I,
Um,
I,
in it,
okay.
so as we kind of looked to, so young people are very important, but we've also seen that women in manufacturing are vastly underrepresented. We need to be doing more to get more women engaged, get more women to be able to stay with us. We have a program called STEP for women in science, technology, engineering, and production, and equally have programs to really support veterans into manufacturing careers. So information about those are on our website, and we'd encourage members or encourage your members to really take a look at those and contact us about ways that we could be helpful.
Amazing list of ideas and resources. I'm sure members of CMA will be interested in. Just take a quick break here and to remind listeners that we're talking with Brent Weil. Brent is the Senior Vice President of Education and Workforce for the Manufacturing Institute. And you can find more information about all the items that he's talking about here. We've listed the mfgday.com. That's specifically for the Manufacturing Day promotional information. But you can also find information about the Manufacturing Institute. That website is the Manufacturing Institute, all one word, .org. The Manufacturing Institute.org. Did I get that right, Brent?
You did. It's a mouthful.
It is. That's fine. So we covered information about the Manufacturing Day. We've given the listeners information on the link to themanufacturinginstitute.org. Anything else that members should be aware of related to hiring and keeping skilled workers?
There are some things that we've really seen can make a difference for companies is they really understand the skills and competencies of applicants that would be coming in, as well as help grow their own workforce. We have been able to support programs in community colleges and career and technical schools around the country that are really designed for manufacturers, leading to manufacturing assessments and manufacturing certifications. And that can be a strong way to be able to work with education in a way that we're really steering the boat. We're the ones that are directing. The outcome of that should be that people are be able to pass an assessment that says they can they can machine to a standard that we need, or that they have met the safety and quality assurance and training needs that would really match in with what we have in our company, and that make it that much more effective recruitment resource that we have. And then within companies, we see more and more are really looking at various models for how they are growing their workforce around competencies, really establishing apprenticeship programs or internship and earn and learn programs within their companies in lots of different ways that are really helping spell out for employees how they can really best enter into the company, grow within the company in ways that we're sure that we're getting the most out of our workforce and that we're retaining our best workers toward that need that we have, which is, again, looking to as retirements are coming and different things are looming in ways that are making that will help us to really get ahead of that game.
A wealth of information, Brent. Thank you. I really appreciate you sharing your time today. I want to remind listeners there's just a wealth of information on the Manufacturing Day. I would also like to add, if any of our members actually pursue and promote and have either a Manufacturing Day, week, or month, to let us know at Cookware Manufacturers Association, and we'll help share that information on our social media channels so that there's recognition. Maybe we can get some real social media viral information shared and promoting this great application on October 6th, Manufacturing Day.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I would add that it's really important that manufacturers, when they do an event, that they register those on mfgday.com. It's very easy. Register it so that it's listed there. The more events we have that are publicly known, the more people can get to your event, but also the more that we're really telling the world that these are opportunities that are out there, that these are interested companies. We had more than 2,800 events registered last year, and so we're looking to keep that streak going.
That's amazing. That's great information. Brent, thank you so much for sharing your time and this valuable information. My name is Penny Rosema, and we're recording for the Cookware Manufacturers Association. If you'd like more information about the Manufacturing Institute, check out their website and themanufacturinginstitute.org. And the Cookware Association needs your feedback so we can continue to keep you informed. Was this interview valuable to you? Do you have questions or topics you would like to suggest for future interviews? Let us know. I'm at prosema@cookware.org. And you'll find this podcast by logging into our website and clicking on the member link under the CMA podcast sections. There's this podcast and a number of other valuable ones I'm sure you'll enjoy. Thank you, listeners, and enjoy the day.